Patriots Saints, it's MJ checking in with you this morning. I love reading my one-year Bible, and today I listened to it a couple of times this morning while I was getting ready, and in the book of Numbers, in the reminder of Moses and the Israelites, he goes up the mountain to talk to God, and he leaves the people not even a month, and they're down there just going crazy, making a god, their own god, drinking and partying, and actually having orgies. I mean, that's what it means. I don't know, it's just bizarre. To me, it's so bizarre that just such a short time after having God deliver them, that they can stray so quickly. And how often are we just like that? God does miraculous things. He'll heal us. He'll provide for us. He does these miraculous things, and we're so thankful. And then just not far down the road, we're off doing our own little thing again, and living in the world, with the world, instead of living for God. So something to think about. And sweet Mary and Joseph, she gives birth to her baby in the book of Luke, and or Mark, and no, we're in Luke. They both have the same story. And Mary hears the shepherds praising and worshiping her son, and that God sent them, an angel sent them there. And then she goes to the church, and the old priest says, I can now die because I have seen the Messiah. And these were predictions, these were prophecies that were answered at that time and recorded in the Bible. Think about today, things that were recorded thousands of years ago. Israel was destroyed, and there was no Israel, there was no nation. And it said that Israel would become a nation again and become very prosperous. And in 1947, it did become a nation again. And we read the book of Revelations and the second coming of the Messiah prophecies, and signs and wonders to watch for, and what it'll be once he does come back, or how the Lord takes the church off the planet, what we call the rapture, and he takes the saints, of course, for that 7-year tribulation period, and the precursor leading up to that. And it says in those end times that we will have a cashless society, that we will have one world government, that we will have to have a mark to purchase. It'll be on our forehead or on our hand. It says that there'll be famines, and it's crazy, the things that's in the Bible, that 20 years ago, when I first started studying Revelations, 25 years ago, for me personally, I thought, what? How can we have a cashless society? And, or one world government? Where would that come from? The book of Ezekiel 38 and 39, it's here. It's here. China and Russia are buddies, and they will join together. That's what the book says in Ezekiel. And they will come against Israel, and they can march right across the land and get there together. So how far-fetched is that now? I don't think it's all that far-fetched. prophecies. Nothing needs to happen before the Lord comes back for his saints. And one world government, one world economic, one world leadership. It says that 2/3 of the planet's going to be wiped out. I believe it's an astronomical amount of the population is going to be wiped out during the tribulation by tribulation. And the One World Economic Group, Soros and all those clause group, they want just a small amount of people left on the planet. And apparently it's going to happen eventually, whether it's by them or not. It says that we're going to have great pestilence and disease and warfare. Let's think about warfare. What is warfare all about? I don't know. We have spiritual warfare, and it's real. It's not a battle between flesh and bone. We hear it all the time in the Bible from our pastors and our leaders and teachers, but it's a spiritual battle, and our greatest weapon is to fight within the spiritual realm from our knees and in prayer. But in the world, we have warfare on the ground and in the air, and with tanks and with guns. We now have chemical warfare and cyber warfare and bio. I don't know what the right terms are. There's so many different ways to go into war. So the next attack is coming is cyber warfare that they're talking about, and more bio warfare. It's all documented. There's proof. I have all the resources. It's available to anybody who wants it. But coronavirus was a developed virus for bio warfare, and it was developed for that. And besides all the side effects we now know, it's been released out there for not quite 2 weeks. The first section, FDA tried to shut it down and stop it. There was court orders to release it. They wanted to wait 75 years, and they were fighting for that. Then they dropped it down to 55 or 50 years, and all that was not allowed. And in those studies, just with coronavirus and the 3-month studies, there's no reason that they're still giving one of those shots to one single living soul on this planet after that was released. So I don't understand it, especially since the effectiveness of the vaccine is less than 1%, and it's all in those tests and studies, and the side effects and long-term problems are astronomical. So why is this happening? Because Satan rules the world, and we're not to fear, we're to be wise, but we need to step up and let others know. Tilly is just panting away here. She doesn't get to go very often when she's here panting away at the window. And I'm driving stick, and I'm in a little noisy car. It's the easiest time for me to just sit here and ponder my thoughts, and that's why I'm just talking into this little camera attached to my dash, because I can. But, what are you going to do today is the question. What did you read in the Word today? What does God have to say to us? How can we apply it into our own personal life? our side, it takes that anxiety away and that fear. He's got our back. He's got a plan for us. But we're here for such a time as this. So, are you going to be courageous? Are you going to speak up even though you're afraid? The courageous, brave heroes of all time